Welcome to all. Now in this lecture we are going to see the Schwarzschild interior solution, which is nothing but our simple model of a star. As in the previous lecture we have saw about the Schwarzschild X-ray solution, which is nothing but, as we have seen in the Birchhoff's theorem, that we have the star which is spherically symmetric and filled with a matter, then the equation for the X-ray solution is given by r greater than equals to a, that is outside this ball we have no matter and except the gravitation, and hence the equation for the, that is the Schwarzschild X-ray solution, that is field equation, which is Jmn equals to 0 or Rmn equals to 0, gives a Schwarzschild X-ray solution. Now in this video we are going to see the Schwarzschild interior solution, that is the gravitational field inside this ball, or this is a star. We consider a star a shape of a spherical ball which is filled with an incompressible, this is filled with the incompressible perfect fluid. Perfect fluid means it has no viscosity and it is perfectly incompressible fluid. And the property of the perfect fluid is that it has a proper density, that is the proper density in this perfect fluid is constant and which is given by rho. Okay, so Schwarzschild interior solution gives the gravitational field inside the star. Okay, and we derive this gravitational field equation by using the space-time metric, and for this, because Tmn outside the gravitational field of the star is 0, but inside it is not 0, that is Tmn is not equals to 0 for the spherical ball which is a star. Okay, so Tmn is not equals to 0, and for perfect fluid its value is given by T11, that is in the mixed tensor form, T22 equals to T33 equals to T44 equals to minus p. Okay, and T44 is equals to rho. Okay, so for the perfect fluid and for the spherical ball, which is nothing but our star, so for the simple model of a star, that is the solution of the Schwarzschild interior solution, for this we have the energy momentum tensor T11, T22, T33 equals to T44 equals to minus p, and T33 equals to minus p, and T44 equals to rho. Okay, now we find the Schwarzschild interior solution by considering the line element, which is given by ds square equals to minus e to the power a dr square minus r square d theta square plus sine square theta d phi square plus e to the power b dt square. As in the Schwarzschild X-ray solution we find the values of e to the power a and e to the power b. Here also we find the values of e to the power a and e to the power b by solving the Einstein field equation. And as the Einstein field equation, which is nothing but for the non-empty space-time, is given by Gmn is equals to minus 8 pi Tmn. Okay, or G in the mixed tensor for Gmn equals to minus 8 pi Tmn. Okay, so we solve this equation, that is this equation are nothing but Einstein field equation. We solve this Einstein field equation for this line element, and by solving this we get the values of e to the power a and e to the power b. We substitute this in this line element, and that gives us a Schwarzschild interior solution. Okay, so let's see. Thus we have right here that for the incompressible fluid the energy momentum tensor are given by this T11, T22 equals to T33 equals to minus v, and T44 equals to rho. We give this as a equation number 1. And the line element that we have considered, which is static spherically symmetric, as we have considered in the Schwarzschild X-ray solution. Similarly we have considered here, which is static spherically symmetric line element, and here a and b are the function of r alone, and we give this as this line element as a equation number 2. Now to find the gravitational field inside the star, we have to solve the we have to solve the field equation which is without cosmological constant, that is Gmn equals to minus 8 pi Tmn, as we have considered cosmological constant in the Birkhoff's theorem to showing that our line element is always static. Okay, so but for the inside the star, we have to find the gravitational field inside the star, right? And for this we solve this equation, and it can be written in the mixed tensor form as G upper suffix mn is equals to minus 8 pi T mn. Okay, in the mixed tensor form. Now we take the radius of the star as r0. Okay, so let r0 be its radius of the star, and therefore r greater than or equal to r0. For r greater than or equals to r0, the gravitational field is given by Schwarzschild exterior solution. The gravitational field is given by Schwarzschild exterior solution, right? That we have seen earlier. For outside the star we have the Schwarzschild exterior solution. Inside the star we are deriving the Schwarzschild interior solution. Now we find the Gmn, that is the metric tensor, as we have done in the Schwarzschild exterior solution from the Ricci tensors, right? So we have to calculate the Christoffel symbol. What we have to calculate for that? Christoffel symbol, that is gamma of Rmn. Then we have to calculate the Ricci tensor Rmn. Then we have to calculate R, because Gmn, since in the mixed tensor form, Gmn is equals to Rmn minus 1 upon 2 R delta Mn. Right? In the mixed tensor form, we have the form of the Einstein tensor as Rmn minus 1 upon 2 R delta Mn. So we have to calculate the Rmn, that is in the mixed tensor form also. So Rmn, which is nothing, Gms Rns. That is, we have to write Rmn in the mixed tensor form by multiplying the conjugate metric tensor to the Ricci tensor, and therefore S is a dummy suffix. We get Rmn in the mixed tensor form. Now we have to calculate this Rmn, and then we have to find R, that is nothing but our R11 plus R22 plus R33 plus R44. Substituting all this value in this equation, we get the non-vanishing Einstein tensor, and which is given by here. We are write directly the form of the Einstein tensor here as G11 is equals to, that is, we get G11, G22, G33, which is depend on G22 and G33 are dependent, and G44, because here we have A and B are function of R alone. Okay, so we get only up to G44. So we write G11 and G44, G22 and G33. Instead of that, we consider another equation. So G11, the value of this is e to the power minus a b dash upon r plus 1 upon r square minus 1 upon r square, and G44, its value is minus e to the power minus a dash upon r minus 1 upon r square plus 1 upon r square. Okay, so you can calculate these values here by taking step by step calculation of this and solving for that. You get these values, right? So I am skipping these steps of calculating the non-vanishing Einstein tensor. Okay, you have to calculate this and verify whether it is come like that or not. Okay, so let's see what is A dash is here, B dash is here, A dash is here. So what is A dash? So where A dash is nothing but our dA upon dr, that is the derivative with respect to r, as A is a function of r alone, so we are taking the complete derivative, otherwise we take the partial derivative. And B dash is also nothing but b upon dr, because B is a function of r. So now from equation 3, we have not given equation 3, the equation 3 is our this one, that is our field equation. So our field equation becomes, from equation 3 we get G11 1 1 equals to minus 8 pi T11. That is equals to 8 pi T11, or that is equals to 8 pi into P, since T11 equals to minus P. So minus P into minus is P. So G11 equals to 8 pi P. Now we can substitute the value of G11 from here. That is e to the power minus a b dash upon r plus 1 upon r square minus 1 upon r square. This is our G11. It is equals to 8 pi P. We give this as the equation before. Now similarly, we write the G44, that is field equation. G44 equals to minus 8 pi T44. Therefore, G44 is equals to minus 8 pi T44. And that is equals to minus 8 pi into rho, since T44 is equals to rho. As we have given that energy momentum tensor T44 is equals to rho. So G44 equals to minus 8 pi T44, that is equals to minus 8 pi rho, and the value of G44 from this equation we can write e to the power minus a dash upon r minus 1 upon r square plus 1 upon r square equal to minus 8 pi into rho. We give this as the equation number 5. Okay. So instead of equation G22 and G33, we take the equation, that is instead of G22 is equals to G33 equals to minus 8 pi T22, because T11, T22 and T33 are equal to minus P. So instead of taking this, we solve the equation, which is nothing but our conservation law. We use the conservation law. This is a conservation law for the energy momentum tensor, and that is equals to Tmn semicolon m equal to 0. Okay. So Tmn semicolon m equals to 0 means this is a covariant derivative of Tmn, that is in a mixed tensor form, and which can be written as, so the formula for the covariant tensor is equal to, that is Tmn semicolon m is equals to T mn comma m plus gamma of m Rm T Rn minus gamma of R Nm Tmr, that is equals to, we require this is equals to 0. So see here, the formula is like that. Semicolon is changes to the partial derivative. Okay, that is covariant derivative is changes to partial derivative. Then we are interchanging the position of n and dummy suffix r. So we are taking, instead of n, we take r as a dummy suffix. So Rm, and here on the metric tensor of the, that is on the energy momentum tensor, we are using in the upper suffix dummy suffix and in the lower as n. Okay, and m is as it is, and here minus the Christoffel symbol we have. So this term in the lower term is as it is, because here it is a minus sign, and when this order is as it is, we have the minus sign, and m is replaced by the dummy suffix r, and dummy suffix is again in the lower suffix of the energy momentum tensor T, and m, this m is in the upper suffix of the energy momentum tensor T. Okay, so when we apply the formula for the covariant derivative, we have to change this semicolon to the partial derivative. Then we have in the minus sign, the order is same, that is nm, and in the upper suffix we use the dummy suffix for the Christoffel symbol into Tmr, that is dummy suffix in the lower suffix and m in the upper suffix. And in the, when there is a plus sign, we have changed the order of r, n and r, and therefore r and m also. Okay, so remember this formula for the covariant derivative. Now we solve this equation to get, we get one equation from this equation. Okay, so let's see how to solve this equation. This implies that now here m is a dummy suffix. Okay, So when there is a dummy suffix, we use the summation rule. That is, we apply m, we can vary m from 1, 2, 3, 4 and also sum it over that. Okay, so we have t n as it is, we have 1 comma 1 plus t 2n comma 2 plus t 3n comma 3 plus t 4n comma 4. Okay, so m is varying from 1, 2, 3, 4. So we apply the summation rule also and we vary the dummy suffix also. Okay, plus now here m, r, m, t, r, n is here. R is also a dummy suffix and m is also a dummy suffix. So we vary firstly r, because if we take r equals to 1, then n should be chosen as equals to 1. Because see, if we choose r equals to 1, that is, we are varying now this dummy suffix r. So it is gamma m1m t1n. Okay, so what is the value of n should be chosen here? We can choose n equals to 1 only, because t12, t13, t14 are all equal to 0, because we have only given the values of t11, t22, t33 equals to minus p and t44, right? So in changing the dummy suffix, we firstly apply the summation rule for the dummy suffix r and then we apply for the m. Okay, so we have here that gamma of m 1m t11, because n is chosen to be 1 because of this result. Okay, plus gamma of m 2m t2 and n we choose, that is also equals to 2, plus gamma of m 3m t. Now here r is 3 and n is also chosen as 3, plus gamma of m 4m t44. Okay, now minus sign, minus r and m t m r. Again here m is a dummy suffix, r is dummy suffix. Okay, and we have to choose m and r such that m equals to r, because m and r both are dummy suffixes, and we have to choose m equals to r because of this reason. Because if m and r are not equal, then this going to be t m r going to be 0. Okay, so we have to choose m and r should be equal. Okay, so we vary m and r both the dummy suffix simultaneously and apply the summation rule. So we have minus gamma 1 n1 t11. Okay, because we are taking m and r equal to 1, then minus gamma of 2 n2 t22 minus gamma, because we are applying the summation rule and separating the minus sign inside the bracket also. Okay, because we have here, it is like that, minus gamma of 1 n1 t11 plus gamma of 2 n2 t22 by applying the summation rule. So we are directly multiplying the minus sign inside the bracket. So here we have minus gamma of 3 n3 t33 minus gamma of 4 n4 t44 equal to 0, right? Now we can apply here. Now as here 1n means if we vary n from 1 to 3, 4, because n is now again a variable and which is varying from 1 to 3, 4. So what value can be n can be chosen? N can choose only one value. Okay, that is n equals to 1 can be possible. If n equals to 2, then this t12 is there. Okay, t12 is 0. Now n equals to 3, then t13 is there. Now t13 is also becomes 0. Okay, so we can take only the value for n equals to 1 only. Okay, so this is t11 comma 1 plus now t22 comma 2, because again n, if we vary n, so it is 1, 2, 3, 4, and therefore t2n can be chosen here as only 2. So t22 comma 2 plus t3. Similarly here n can be taken as 3. So t33 comma 3 plus here n can be, we can take only n equals to 4. So t44 comma 4 plus now as here we vary m1m. So it can be seen from the what are the non-vanishing Christopher symbol. Okay, and then we vary the m here. So here our g11 is minus e to the power a and therefore 1 1 is depend on the first coordinate, that is A is a function of R alone, therefore G11 is this one and it is depend on the first coordinate, that is R coordinate. 2 2 is nothing but our d theta square, coefficient of d theta square, so it is minus R square and therefore 2 2 is depend on 1 only, and 3 3 is depend on 1, that is R coordinate and theta coordinate, so 1 comma 2, and 4 4, that is dt, the coefficient of dt square is e to the power b, and this 4 4 is depend on R coordinate, so 4 4 is depend on 1, and from this we can list the all non-vanishing Christoffel symbol, which is given by gamma of 1 1, gamma of 1 2 2, gamma of 2 1 2, that is equals to gamma of 2 2 1, gamma of 1 3 3, gamma of 3 1 3, that is equals to gamma of 3 3 1, comma gamma of 2 1 2, gamma of 3 2 3, that is equals to gamma of 3 3 2, gamma of 2 3 3, and the last one, that is gamma of 1 4 4, gamma of 4 1 4, that is equals to gamma of 4 4 1, right? So our list of the non-vanishing Christoffel symbol are only this non-vanishing Christoffel symbol. Okay, so we write here for this as, so if we vary this m here, okay, so m can be take the value 1, here it is, then we have gamma 1 1, we have m can be take the value 2, so gamma 2 1 2 1 2 is here, okay, plus gamma of 3 1 3 is here, plus gamma of 4 1 4 is here, okay, but 2 1 2, so here m is varying, so 2 1 2 is present, 3 1 3 is also present, 4 1 4 is also present, okay. So when we vary here m, so we get that m can take the value gamma of 1 1 plus gamma of 2 1 2 plus gamma of 3 1 3 plus gamma of 4 1 4 into t 1 1, okay. So this term is completed with a, since m is dummy suffix, so we apply here the summation rule, and all these are non-vanishing, okay. Then we have plus gamma of m to m, that is nothing but, again we vary the m here, so gamma of 1 to 1 we get, gamma of 2 2 2, gamma of 3 2 3, gamma of 4 2 4. Now here gamma of 2 2 2, this is not present. 4 2 4, is this present? 4 2 4, no, so this is not equals to 0. 3 2 3, this one is present, and gamma of 1 2 1, 1 to 1, this is also not present, okay. So if we vary m for this, then we get only non-vanishing Christoffel symbol as gamma of 3 2 3, and therefore we have plus gamma of 3 2 3 t 2 2, okay, and all other are equal to 0, so all these are equal to 0, right? Now similarly plus gamma of m 3 m, if we vary here m, what we have get, gamma of 1 3 1 plus gamma of 2 3 2 plus gamma of 3 3 3 plus gamma of 4 3 4, okay. So 1 3 1, is it present? No, okay, so this is equals to 0. Gamma of 2 3 2, 2 3 2 is also not present, this is equals to 0. Gamma of 3 3 3, is it present? No, so this is equals to 0, and gamma of 4 3 4, this is also not present in this list, so this is equals to 0, okay. And therefore from this we get this term is all equal to, this term is all equal to 0. Similarly gamma of m4m, if we talk about this, then it is gamma of, so here m equals to 1, so m4 1 4 1 plus gamma of m equals to 2, then it is 2 4 2 plus gamma of 3 4 3 plus gamma of 4 4 4. 1 4 1, this is equals to 0, 2 4 2 is not present, equals to 0, 3 4 3 is not present, 0, gamma of 4 4 4 is not present, therefore this term is also equal to 0, okay. So we get this is plus 0 plus 0, and then we have the next term, that is 1 and 1, okay. So if we vary minus gamma of 1 and 1, we get that is here minus the term gamma of 1, 1, 1, t 1, 1. Okay. Now here we have varying n equals to 1. So we get n equals to 1, we get gamma of 1, 1 plus gamma of 1, 2, 1. Is 1, 2, 1 present? No. Right? Plus gamma of 1, 3, 1 because n equals to 3. So n 1, 3, 1 is also not present. Plus gamma of 1, 4, 1. Is 1, 4, 1 is there? No. Okay. So we have only for n equals to 1 is here. So we have minus gamma of 1, 1 t 1, 1 minus gamma of 2. Now n can be taken. For 2 we have in the upper suffix we have 2. So here in the Christopher symbol 2, 1, 2 is present and only one term is present 2, 1, 2, right? And 2, 1, 2 and 2, 2, 1 are same, right? So we have here 2, 1, 2 and here t 2, 2 minus gamma of now 3. Now in the upper suffix we have 3. So 3, 1, 3 is there and 3, 2, 3 is there. So n can takes the value 1 and 2. Okay, so gamma 3, 1, 3 plus gamma 3, 2, 3 into t 3, 3 minus gamma of 4 and 4. 4 and 4 is again vary n 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we get? If we vary n equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, then n equals to 1 we have 4, 1, 4 which is present. 4, 2, 4, 4, 3, 4 and 4, 4, 4 all are not present. Only n can take the value 1. Okay, so 4, 1, 4 t 4, 4 that is equals to 0. Okay, so we have here the term, this term and this one. Now here we can write this as t11, comma 1. Now what is the value of t11? t11 equals to minus p. So minus p and its derivative with coordinate 1. That is p is a pressure and which is depend on the radius of this spherical ball. Therefore t11 is depend on 1 but t22 is equals to minus p. And this is not depend on theta, this is not depend on phi and this is not depend on time coordinate. Okay, so all this t22 comma 2 that is the derivative of minus p with respect to 2, derivative of minus p with respect to 3 and derivative of minus p with respect to 4 is all these terms are 0 and we have only derivative of minus p with respect to comma 1s that is minus the derivative of minus p with respect to r. So we have minus p dash then t22 comma 2. This is 0, this is 0, this one is 0. Inside the bracket we have plus gamma of 1, 1, gamma of 2, 1, 2, right? Gamma of 2, 1, 2 plus gamma of 3, 1, 3 plus gamma of 4, 1, 4. This bracket as it is into minus p plus gamma of 3, 2, 3. t22 is nothing but our minus p minus this our term minus gamma of 1, 1 into minus p minus gamma of 2, 1, 2 into minus p minus gamma of 3, 1, 3 plus gamma of 3, 2, 3 into minus p minus gamma of 4, 1, 4 into rho because t44 equals to rho. So since t11 equals to t22 equals to t33 equal to minus p and t44 equal to rho. So using this we get this. Now here gamma of 1, 1, 1 and this term here it is minus p and here minus minus plus. So here minus p and here minus minus plus. So this term get cancelled with this term. Okay, similarly 2, 1, 2 and here it is 2, 1, 2 into minus p. Minus p into 2, 1, 2 and minus minus plus 2, 1, 2 into p. So this term get cancelled with this term. 313 get cancelled with this term. 313 into minus p. 323 get cancelled with this term. Okay, because here it is minus sign, so minus minus plus here, and therefore this term get cancelled with this term. So we have remained with only this two term. Okay, we have remained with this term and this term, and all other term get cancelled. So we have minus p dash minus p into gamma of 414 minus this is equals to gamma of 414 into rho equal to 0. Okay, so minus p dash is equals to p plus rho into gamma of 414, and this gamma of 414 is nothing but this is equals to 1 upon 2 b dash. Okay, you can calculate this gamma of 414, that is equals to 1 upon 2 b dash. So p dash is equals to minus p plus rho into 1 upon 2 b dash. Okay, and this minus sign we are taking in to this side, so minus of p plus rho into b dash. Therefore we get this relation from the conservation law. We get this equation. So instead of G22 and G33, that is Einstein field equation, we use this equation in calculating in solving the equation, that is in solving the space time for the Schwarzschild interior solution. Okay, now we use this equation to find the values of A and B. We give this as equation number 6 and we multiply the equation 5. Multiply. For solving the values of A and B, we multiply equation 5 by r square. Okay, so multiplying by r square, we get e to the power minus a dash into r minus 1 plus 1 equals to minus 8 pi rho into r square. Okay, that is e to the power minus a dash into r minus 1 plus 1 equal to minus 8 pi rho into r square. That is, we can write here we have here the plus sign, and here it is the plus sign 8 pi rho r square. Also note that in the G44 we have minus e to the power minus a dash upon r minus 1 upon r square into minus 1 upon r square. Okay, so here it is a minus sign, so here we get from this, we are multiplying by minus sign, that is minus, and therefore minus sign get cancelled from this. Okay, so note that here, correct here. Now therefore we have here, we can write this e to the power minus a dash r minus 1 as, that is equals to minus r e to the power minus a whole bracket dash plus 1. Okay, that is, if we open the bracket by this dash is nothing but derivative, so derivative of this bracket r e to the power minus a dash is nothing but this term, and taking minus sign as a common, plus 1, this is equals to 8 pi rho into r square. Right, now we can integrate this to remove this derivative. Okay, so after integrating we get, on integration we get, so this derivative and integration get cancelled, so we have minus r e to the power minus a plus the integration of 1 is r, that is equals to 8 pi rho, this integration of r square is r cube upon 3 plus the constant of integration, we take this as c. Now we can divide here by minus r, so we get e to the power minus a minus 1 equals to minus 8 pi rho r square upon 3 minus c upon r. Okay, so we are dividing here by minus r. Now here this is equals to where c is a constant of integration, and since we are finding here the Schwarzschild interior solution, so r may take values from 0 to infinity. Okay, so when r tends to 0, okay, r may be 0, r is the radius of the spherical ball, So when r equals to 0, we have c upon r tends to infinity. So when r equal to 0, we have c upon r tends to infinity, and this gives a singularity. Okay, so to neglect the singularity, we take c is equals to 0, and therefore our equation, above equation, implies e to the power minus a minus 1 equals to minus 8 pi rho r square upon 3. So we write this as e to the power minus a equals to, we take this minus 1 to this side, so 1 minus 8 pi rho r square, and we take this as upon 3. That is equals to e to the power minus a equals to 1 minus small r square upon capital R square, where capital R square is nothing but 3 upon 8 pi rho. Okay, so we get the value of e to the power minus a as 1 minus r square upon capital R square. Now we find the value of capital B by solving the equation, by solving this equation number 6 in the next lecture, and we substitute then the values of e to the power minus a and e to the power b in the line element to get our Schwarzschild interior solution. Okay, so thank you everyone.